Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rihanna, and welcome back to Fresh Off the Broke.
Fresh Off the Broke is about personal experiences growing up Asian American in a predominantly white community, Asian media, and Asian pop culture in general. Race has always been a sensitive topic. Every day there are debates over race. With our podcast, we intend to shed light on the experiences of first-generation Asian immigrants, not put them on a pedestal.
We understand that race isn't everything, but there should be an acknowledgement of people of color, the knowledge gap, and the racial divide that will ideally be broken. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the episode. Today we are back with another FOB Fact episode, and this episode is about burning out. Before we get into it, school is coming up pretty shortly, not to stress you guys out even more. If you had a summer job or have a summer job, you're probably in the home stretch right now, right before going back to school.
So, or like an internship.
Yeah, the possibility of being burnt out at this very moment is very, very likely, unfortunately. And even just the fear of burning out is very, very likely right now. If you just finished or you're finishing up an internship, you probably spent the whole summer working and then you have to go straight back to school or straight back to your job if you got like a break during the summer. Sounds awful, and it is awful. I mean, we'll get into this more later, but personally, I am just completely dead. I think I've spent this summer just being dead.
Like a zombie.
Yeah.
I am also in some pain. Previously, it was just mental exhaustion. But as of recent, and we'll get into this, as of recent, I'm in physical pain.
It's been awful. That being said, that doesn't mean that having a summer job isn't bad. Like, it's obviously great. You're making money, you're getting experience, but it can be difficult to juggle a job or school with your personal life, the other aspects of you as a human being, and that can cause burning out. So in case you were wondering what exactly we mean by burning out, according to WHO, burnout is classified as an occupational phenomenon. It is not a medical condition, but it is, recognized as an occupational phenomenon. It is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And it is typically characterized by 3 different dimensions. Number 1 is feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion. Number 2 is increased mental distance from one's job or feelings of negativity or like cynical thoughts related to your job. And number 3 is reduced professional efficiency. So to sum it up, it's just, feeling completely tired, hating your job, and it affects your work like ethic or the work that you're producing, affecting it negatively.
When talking about like overworking or just like, I mean, it's a universal experience, just like having stress. Anyone can be stressed and burnt out, but like we've said many times, because we're an Asian podcast, our focus is mostly on Asians, and so it's pretty widely accepted, maybe among the Asian community, that like burnout is real. Because of the pressure and the standards set, you always feel like you have to perform, right? For parents, filial piety. It's not necessarily just about you and your goal. They're like not disappointing yourself. It's also about
Mm-hmm.
your parents and then like the ancestors,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
the community.
There's a lot that piles up.
And so for this FOB Fact episode, we're kind of doing a little, I don't want to say deep dive because it's not a deep dive, but the whole episode is going to revolve around burning out. And then if you're new to FOB Fact is a fun once in a while thing we do where we kind of give, I don't know if I want to necessarily call it like an advice thing, but we pick a topic, we talk about it, and then we try and guide you through it to the
Mm-hmm.
best of our limited experience and abilities.
Hmm. To go back to us alluding to our own burnout stories, um, I think this summer specifically has been extra killer on me. Um, I've been doing a lot of like random things, almost like random side quests that I've just decided I needed to complete this summer. Um,
Side quest, like a video
yeah,
game.
yeah. And just basically the situation I'm in, I put myself in it. So I'm not like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. I need to get out of it. Like I understand I did this to myself and I understand that this is benefiting me in the long run. However, I will find moments where I'm running on 2 hours of sleep and I'm sitting there just like, what am I doing with my life? And I find myself being very unhappy with, the state that I'm in. Um, just feeling not a lack of freedom, but just so there's no room to breathe, I feel. Um, and it's definitely because I've burnt out. And it
Mm-hmm.
sucks because, all of the jobs that I've been doing this summer are things that I'm very happy that I'm doing. Or just like, maybe if I'm not exactly like happy by it, it's not like this job is draining my soul or anything. Like it's a perfectly reasonable job for me to be doing. Um, just it's been too much recently and I've just been dead pretty much. Um, and I've found that I've had to both like set up preventative measures and deal with burning out, which we will get into in our little like survival guide portion of the episode. But yeah, it's been rough feeling this level of burnout. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the older you get, um, well, one, the older you get, the more you've had experience with burning out. But at the same time, the older you get, when you burn out, it's like, oh God, like it feels like a halt. Because as a kid, or even just when I was younger, it felt like, I'm burning out, but like I have more chances to, pick myself up and this won't last. It's not that serious. But when you burn out with, like full on jobs that you will like see yourself committing to in the future, it can be a little scary. Because you start to question like, okay, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe this is too much for me to handle. I can't be doing this in the future. You know what I mean? Which is not the case, like we'll get into it, but I fully understand it can be very hard, and it is very hard. What about you, Tiffany? How have you been feeling?
I So for me, I have also, the thing is, I don't think I am currently at the time that we are calling burnt out anymore. I
That's good.
think it just kind of magically went away.
Mm-hmm.
But so This summer, I started like my first kind of corporate job, like a big girl office job. And then I also am doing some other stuff. But mainly with the office job, I've never done a big like corporate 9 to 5. And if you work corporate 9 to 5, or you're also in my shoes of doing an internship at a big office 9 to 5 for the first time, when you get home, you're so tired, you're knocked out. You don't really have the energy to do anything else because
Mm-hmm.
you had just been working all day for hours and hours and hours. And I don't know, there's something about it. I think if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about the experience of working a corporate 9 to 5 that is very draining.
Mm-hmm.
And being in an office and then everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I'm incredibly grateful for everything I'm doing this summer. I am not taking it away. I wanted this. I don't regret it at all. I don't like I said, I'm not really in like a burnout stage right now. I think I'm like in a good in a good state at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last 2 weeks, I have felt incredibly exhausted. My because you know how I said at the beginning, like mental exhaustion and now physical exhaustion. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in the past 2 weeks, I had been doing some construction stuff, and so that's a lot of intense physical labor, right?
Yeah.
And there were times where it would be 12-hour days and stuff like that. And I'd never done that before. I've never exerted myself to that. I mean, I don't even think that's ethical.
Mm-hmm. It's
It's
not.
not, not
Fully
at
not.
all. The exhaustion from corporate. That absolutely knocked me out.
Mm-hmm.
12-hour days,
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Do you know what time I had to wake up to make it for 8 a.m.? I had to wake up at like 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so that did a number on me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm now I've recovered.
That is good.
But wow, I was not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. And it was every day too. Not
Mm-hmm.
12 hours every day, but it was I was working on that every single day.
Uh-huh.
And I was going there every single day.
God. Yeah, it's like timing is so important, and timing has not been on my side either. Like,
Mhm.
just schedules have been so awful.
Mhm.
I mean, to give a little more context, I work an overnight job plus a job during the day. So like sleep, which is normally something that literally keeps me sane, which I guess you could say for anybody. But like I'm one of those people who could sleep for a whole day straight if I wanted to.
Mhm.
And right now, like the only time I can sleep is like random naps during the day. And that has really affected it. I need my sleep. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, sleep is incredibly important.
Mm-hmm.
That really determines how you function.
Yeah, it really does. And it's funny because when my schedule was most busy, I was working my day job from like 8 until sometimes I would go until 7. And then I'd start a shift overnight at 9:30 until like 4 or 5 a.m. I did that for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like the weirdest thing, which, kind of brings us into how you can help like prevent or deal with burnout, is that I wasn't tired because my day job I was able to constantly remind myself, like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. Like, this is why I set myself up to do this, because I really do enjoy this job. It makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of to just like slowly move into our next little survival guide portion. Um, a big part of preventing burnout is to, constantly remind yourself why you are doing your work in the first place, or why you have the job in the first place. Um, it's easier for someone like me if you really do enjoy your job and you're doing it just for the sake of, loving what you do. It's easy to be doing your job and just be like, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. I really like it. It's something I enjoy. But, it can be a little bit more difficult if you're simply doing a job because you need the money. But at the same time, even that can help. Think about all the hard work you're doing. It's going to pay off in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You're making money. So either like, maybe you can pay off student debt or student loans or whatever. That'll take a load off of you. That'll make you feel a lot better. Maybe you're just doing a job so you can, have more pocket change. Then
Mm-hmm.
you have more things, you can buy more things for yourself. You have more freedom. You can do more things. You can go out more often and, spend some money, spend some time for yourself. Um, that also really helps preventing burnout. Just, pacing yourself, making sure you take time to just spend time with your own self, not even just with people. I find that sometimes just rotting in bed for one day really helps. And by rotting in bed, I don't mean literally. I mean just, taking a lazy day and doing absolutely nothing and just being on your phone in bed all day. It
Mm-hmm.
helps.
So in terms of dealing with burnout while it's happening, here's some things that you could try, try doing if you're able to. So for one, if this is an available option to you at work, definitely try and cut your workload or maybe request some time off.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing they can say is no, which really sucks.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
But we do think it's important to try and express express that you can't take it anymore and need a break. And I mean, maybe even if you're able to, well, it depends on what kind of job you work. If you work a part-time job or something, maybe try and adjust your schedule if
Mm-hmm.
you're able to. Let's say instead of doing, I don't know how it would hypothetically work with someone, but let's say you usually work 3 days in a row and then you don't work after. If you're able to, maybe try and see if you can spread that out.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe for this week, you work one less day and then you'll make it up the week after, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Just small things. And then kind of like what Rihanna was saying about taking care of yourself or trying to take breaks, maybe, well, if you don't work on the weekends, or maybe if you even have 15 minutes to yourself at the end of the day, try and do something nice, maybe. And you don't necessarily have to go and take a bubble bath or do anything fancy. You could just lie down flat on your back
Mm.
and look up at the ceiling for 5 minutes.
It helps.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've had days where I come home and then get it, I get to my room and then I lay on the floor for a little bit.
Mm.
Not on my back. I just kind of plop on the floor
Mm.
on my side. And I'm just on the floor for a little bit. I keep my floor very clean, so I'm able to do that. But it helps, you're just so tired, you're
Yeah,
exhausted, and I'm on the floor now.
it
And
helps.
it
It
feels
really
good.
does help.
I mean, especially when I was doing the construction stuff,
Mm-hmm.
my body just hurts so much. I'm still getting the aftermath of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have bruises everywhere. I don't know where they came from.
It's nice to
And
just plop onto the floor.
yeah, after just exerting your body for 12 hours,
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta lay there for a couple minutes, and then when you're ready, you get back up.
Get on your feet again.
Yeah, and you get on with your day.
Mm.
Hmm.
I think another big thing is that when people are burnt out, they don't try and take the measures to, almost lighten their load. Because a lot of people, even though, you come home, you're not at work anymore, a lot of people are still thinking about work or, doing things at home that help them with work, or maybe they're straight up doing work at home. I think it's a really big thing, especially after the aftermath of burning out or you are burnt out. You need to set like boundaries almost in a way. Like when you're at home, no work. There should be no connection to work. You need that separation. Even though there could be a physical separation if you don't work from home,
Hmm.
that mental separation is really important, because if you're in your own room, you're supposed to be relaxing, but if all you can do is think about work, like it's making you feel worse. So I think doing no work, having no connection to work, even if it's just that night or just even for a night or for one day, it's super important when you're dealing with burnout. You need those clear-cut boundaries.
Hmm.
You need that separation.
That's so important.
Mhm.
And then kind of going back to what we were saying about schedules, if you're able to, I would say try and kind of lay out your schedule for yourself if you haven't already,
Mhm.
and try and maybe create a new daily schedule or daily routine if you don't have one, or if you do have a daily routine, maybe think about ways that you could improve your day to day in tiny ways,
Mhm.
because sometimes even just, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something, but let's just say you decided that you're gonna, I don't know, drink milk every morning now. You're gonna drink apple juice every morning now.
Mhm.
Because you love apple juice.
Yeah.
And that can be that can be a small improvement to your day.
Just
Or that you're
tiny
gonna
things.
stretch every morning, stretch every night for bed, or you're gonna plop on the floor for 5 minutes every day after work.
It's just so important to be kind to yourself and do things that'll make you be happy. Even if it's in a small way, it makes the biggest difference.
Hmm.
Like sometimes this is a kind of a bad example, but like sometimes I'll come home completely dead. And, like I still have a full face of makeup on and I'll be like so tired. I just want to pass out. But then me lying in bed thinks, tomorrow when I have to get up early to go to work, I should probably wash my face to make that job a little bit easier for myself instead of sleeping with makeup on right now. And then I'll wash my face. And even though I'm so tired and I go to the bathroom and I'm like, this wasn't worth it, I should have just been sleeping, I'm so tired. I'll wake up the next morning and be like, thank you, past me, for making that decision, because it sucks to wake up with a full face of makeup on and then have to wash it off
Yeah,
just to
and then
put
it's like
on more
bad for your
makeup.
skin.
Yeah. Small things like that. Even just like if you're going to the store, you see a candy you really like, maybe splurge a little bit. Get that candy. Make yourself feel happy sometimes, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're burned out. You need that.
Mm-hmm.
You need that to boost your morale, honestly.
Yeah. And there are also like free ways to make yourself happy too,
Mm-hmm.
you know, going to the park.
Just going for a walk and sitting down and just taking in your surroundings can really help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, as someone who is so incredibly lazy, and Tiffany can attest to this, like I hate going on walks and I hate just like doing things like that. But recently I have been doing that. I've been going out alone just to, have some time for myself. And it really helps. As someone who typically doesn't do any of that, it really does help.
Yeah, I mean, I am a huge advocate for solo trips or doing things by yourself
Mm-hmm.
that you want to do. And it's definitely hard depending on, I mean, it's hard in general, but then depending on who you are, right? Some
Yeah, for
people,
sure.
if you have like social anxiety, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
there are different barriers that are in the way, right?
Yeah. Like maybe there's a nice little park near you or like a nice little forest near you. You don't necessarily need to, you probably won't even see anybody on your walk, honestly. Like that time is for you and yourself only.
Mm-hmm.
Let yourself be immersed in it.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of all that we really have to talk about today and offer up. Because I mean, in general, things are easier said than done. Everything, like all the advice we've given you, it's easier said than done, of course. Because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we've been through it, slash, are going through it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really tough burning out. I mean, you will get out of it, and you can get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not always super easy, right?
Yeah, it can feel like you're just like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
And so we hope that this episode was helpful or enjoyable and that you got something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't, we hope that we at least kept you entertained. And if we didn't, you're probably not listening anymore.
Yeah.
But have a nice day.
Yes. Hopefully you guys aren't as burnt out as I am.
Yeah, Rihanna, everyone give Rihanna a virtual hug or pat on the back.
Please.
Everyone send Rihanna some love. And send me what do you call it? You know that back cracker thing? The thing where you like, I think it's a Asian chiropractic thing that people buy. But there's this thing you can buy that you can put on the floor or something like that, and then
You like lie on it?
yeah, and extract your
Oh
back.
yeah.
I need that.
Please send Tiffany those.
Construction got me broken. But anyway, thank you for tuning in today and every other day that you have tuned in. We love you.
We do.
And feel free to tell us about your burnout experience, your story. Are you burnt out right now? Are you burning out? Do you feel yourself burning out? Do you have any tips? Do you want to maybe tell us about, because I mean, if you're burning out right now and you're working on it, tell us what you're doing, if it's helping.
Yeah, I would like to know. It would help, please. Anyways, if you guys liked this episode and you want to stay connected with us, check out our website in the description. It contains links to our streaming platforms such as Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and more. Follow us for more behind-the-scenes content, announcements, and other random things we decide to put on there.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.